Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Thursday, December 19th. It is season 15, episode 1401. We have made 1,400 episodes of this live stream. Probably more. Although there are at least 3 lost episodes. Hey, Joe. I'd share with you if you were here. It's pretty mid Cabernet, very nice. Nothing special. Cheers. 1,400 episodes, sir. Well done. I figured it's special for you. I kept thinking, what should we do for Joe? What should we do for Joe for getting so far? I think we're in Bonanzas. Yeah, we're doing a super Bonanza, super Streva Bonanza. I said, what could we do for Joe? And then today, of course, it's all the internet was full of was Cal, and I said, you know what? We're going to do this for Joe. We are going to dedicate the whole episode to your favorite superhero, Superman, and we are going to hopefully get a lot of the randos riled up. I got a nice, crazy little discourse going for our 15th season to start off, because frankly, that's what we haven't been doing here, right? We haven't been harnessing the random people who show up and watch. So random people who show up and watch are going to learn a heck of a lot about Superman that they didn't know, maybe. Or maybe they will come and they will fight me about the things I know about Superman, or they will say random, crazy, weird things, which we've now been on YouTube for 200 episodes. 200 of our 1,400 episodes have been on YouTube, and it is crazy. Yeah, they released the teaser, so now let's get this down. We're good. I said I'd wait till we're 2 minutes in before I really started and went for it. But okay, they released the teaser for the Superman trailer. It's like 30 seconds long, right? It was out yesterday. That is what I saw. I saw that, and after watching it, I said, "Oh hell no," to watching the trailer. So I have not watched the trailer. Disclaimer, big disclaimer. I have not watched the long minute and a half whatever trailer. I watched the little teaser thing. Okay? I watched that little teaser thing, and I saw so much in that teaser. I saw so many scenes in the movie and so many locations and so many characters that I went, Ganesh, I'm done. Enough. I can't watch anymore. I feel like I saw half the movie. I just can't do it. I can't do it. I cannot watch 30 seconds that gives me 10 locations, 15 guest stars, and a whole bunch of fight scenes out of order, and then decide I'm going to go and sit and watch a minute and a half of that. I can't. And I can't go and watch the movie then. Once I have not watched the Sonic 3. I saw a 30-second trailer thing. That is all I've watched since. I don't want to watch it. So you can say whatever you want in the comments. I really don't care. I am only, when I reference this movie that is coming out, I've only watched the 30-second trailer. You have time to react while I drink my wine. Why should you care then? If I didn't watch the trailer, the thing everyone's talking about, you shouldn't. I've been doing this now for, again, 1,400 episodes. No one should care about my opinion at all. It does not matter. It is nonsense. But we're going to go through Superman for a minute. Okay? Joe is here. Joe has been with us since our Kickstarter days, before we even had a shop. Joe is like, he's my Ed McMahon. Okay? To my Johnny Carson. Johnny Carson, I wish. 3 things you never knew about Superman. Anyway, that I know from the trailer. They have crypto. Superman was a character created by 2. Thank you, Joseph. 2 desperate, hungry young cartoonists that launched a zillion ships. I mean, Superman is the prototypical superhero. He takes existing things that had been in many pulp and cartoon and comic strip characters, and he combines a bunch of them. You got Flash Gordon can jump, just like Edgar Rice Burroughs' character in the John Carter books. He can jump higher. Flash Gordon, when he's on certain planets, they take that and they apply it to Earth for this guy, and they create the superhero. It is stolen from them. However you want to read the history, Siegel and Schuster were absolutely robbed. Just a couple weeks ago, I think it was a week ago, the letter Schuster sent in 1951 to the owner of National at the time, how he has literally ruined him, and he will go down to his grave cursing his name, went around the internet. But you know what? It didn't go anywhere near around the internet like this trailer did. It's just the history of the character whose creator died penniless because the company that he worked for continued to disavow his Neil Adams. Neil Adams is an iconic name in comic books. He was almost blackballed out of comics for standing up just for Siegel and Schuster getting their rights, getting their name. Every single Superman comic you read, every single Superman show you watch, every little thing you have says right here, Superman created by Jerome Siegel and Joseph Schuster. Because of Neil Adams. Okay? Before 1975, it did not say that. Superman, as you know him, the corporate... And again, I will 100% say Siegel and Schuster themselves could never have done with Superman what was done with Superman by National. Even, you talk about the zeitgeist, you talk about all the stuff that made Superman right at the moment when America felt powerless while bursting with growth, right? They're coming out of the Depression. They were ready to prove themselves in the war, and they just were like waiting for the call. Superman just hits. Whatever reason it is, they've never been able to capitalize it the way a National did. Superman is one of the first things. Giving parade floats. They really got him right there, out there, and he became what he is. But you must, when you discuss Superman, remember that you are discussing a character 100% stolen from the creators and basically disavowed any connection to those creators for another 40 years by the company that owns and still makes the comics. So, just again, I really think it hurts, but it's, you know, you're sitting there and you're salivating over a movie made by a acclaimed, well-known filmmaker and millions of dollars of special effects, while the two guys who photostatted over Alex Raymond drawings and reworked 6-strip comic strip into a single-issue comic book to try and sell around somewhere, died in infamy, not in infamy, but, you know, not great lives. It's something that you really have to think about for a second, especially when you consider what Superman stands for, what Superman represents, what Superman is. And again, I'm going to go right out there and say it. I did not watch the full trailer. I watched that little teaser and I was overwhelmed. That little teaser gave me so much movie. And this is what this is about. There's only one way to tell a Superman story. Again, I'm going to sip my wine here for a second, and please, in the comments, tell me what you think I'm going to say. There's only one way to tell a Superman story. Have at it. I don't want to say no one like right boom right pop. No. Anyway, there is only one way to tell a Superman story, and I'll give you a hint while hopefully someone is writing. There's only one way to tell a Superman story. Because as Richard Donner, or whoever the PR genius behind this was in the 70s, realized that the thing about Superman The thing about Superman is you will believe a man can fly. The thing about Superman is believing, getting into secret identity, the super abilities, everything that makes the superhero, the ludicrously defined world that makes a superhero story, not a science fiction story, not a fantasy story, not an adventure story, not a pulp story, but just the little different thing that makes this and this and this all a little different, all a superhero story is defined in Superman, especially in those early Superman comics. And it's very important because the correct answer to the only way to tell a Superman story is in comic book form. Superman movies are wonderful. I grew up in the 80s, right at the peak of the Donner / Reeves Superman. Then the Jurgens comics started coming out. Superboy TV show was on the air. All of that. I read all of it. I devoured it. I've got a whole bunch here. 91, 93, 95 Superman stuff. All, again, these are not my personal collections. They're actually traded to the store that my daughter has to read. The Gangbuster storyline. You remember that? Amazing issue. Just wonder. This is what I grew up on, and more. And the death of Superman. But Lois and Clark. I pieced out on Smallville. I watched a couple episodes of Smallville, and anyone who actually watches this live stream, which again, episode 1401, so 1400 episodes. Big fan of Buffy. I watched Smallville. I'm like, you're taking Superman and you're Buffying him? All right, have fun with that, guys. I'm going to do something else, which was read Superman comics. I shortly after that stopped the Superman comics. That was Electric Blue Superman, became Electric Blue and Red, and it was like, guys, I'm 17. I don't think I can keep reading this. Whatever. I went back. I read plenty of other Superman. I've read. I opened the store right at an amazing time for Superman. Some really, really great Superman comics. This is the Case issue. This is the exceptional Jonathan Case issue. It takes place right after Superman is revealed. The entire book is Jimmy Olsen, his friend Clark Kent, Jimmy Olsen, his friend Clark Kent, his old friends from back home, Pete, and I forgot what he's named in this one right now. Is he Kenny in this? He might be Kenny. Anyway, come back and they're talking about him being Superman and what it is. And you do not see Superman for the entire issue. You hear people talking about Superman. You hear people's reaction to Superman. You see Clark Kent reacting to people reacting to Superman, but you never see Superman. And that's an almost, again, and there's millions at this point of these, almost perfect Superman comic. Another almost perfect Superman comic is the first issue of Astro City. We have this for $1 in the store. First issue of Astro City, right? It's called In Dreams, and it's all Samaritan. They're Superman analog. Samaritan waking up from a beautiful dream of flying, and then just doing those Instagram videos, the YouTube videos of get started on my day with me, right? So he goes, and it's what he does during his day. First issue of this comic. This first issue was sent around to retailers in black and white 2 months before orders were due, and Kurt Busiek got insane orders for this comic because of how good this single issue is. Because this is a fantastic idea that Superman, because he's Superman, because of what he believes and why he does what he does, never stops. He's always running around saving everybody. There's a whole thing here about why he accepts awards and goes to award shows. How he used to not because he could be saving people. It really just goes to he has to obviously fight against some villain who's been stalking him all issue and he didn't notice. And then for the couple hours that he sleeps, He gets to dream that he's flying. And that's a perfect Superman story. It's a perfect Superman story. All-Star Superman. Every single issue, a perfect Superman story because in a comic book, these scenes just, they're happening. This Superman from the 31st century is shaking Superman's hand. They are both standing, floating slightly above a nuclear reactor. It's just what's happening. And Frank Quitely, being Frank Quitely, is delivered in every single scene, every single second, every single moment that you see is 100% happening. You don't need to go, CG could be better here. Oh, I wish the actor's face actually looked like it was moving in the way, because there's none of that. It's a comic book. It's one of the great things. It's what Winsor McKay spent a decade defining comic books could do, and what George Herriman spent a decade basically deconstructing what a comic can do. It is the fact that you believe everything you see on the comic page. It is the power of the medium, and that is what Superman. That is Superman. Superman is that comics. You don't just believe that Flash Gordon on certain planets can jump kind of high. Again, cribbed from John Carter. We're going to make you believe that this dude can fly. He's flying. So every Superman movie, TV show, anything that in its own way got you to enter into the special effects, the idea, the concept, the whatever. They did a good job. But they're never going to do the job of comic books. They're never like, I'm sorry. This is a lot more exciting than Superman Legacy. Is it still called Superman Legacy? It's not called Superman Legacy anymore, right? All right. This is one of the most unique takes on Superman in years, if not decades. That Jason Aaron is writing. Sandalov I think Sandalov did all the design work also, so he's creating as well, but he's definitely drawing the crap out of it. That's Jor-El in the Mines of Krypton. And it is. It's not a, oh man, they really went all out on the budget here. That's Jor-El in the Mines of Krypton. Like, that's what's happening on the page. All right, these people are standing around a fire and talking. And if you could read the dialogue, if you could see the movement, they are believable real people because it's well written. It's just Superman now? Okay, so it's Superman. This is Superman. A film just cannot be Superman. Can you tell I haven't been getting enough sleep? I'm a little incised. I'm a little pissed off. Okay? We have people right now in the last 3 or 4 years writing exceptional Superman stories. Beautiful, meaningful, lyrical Superman stories all across comics. And ooh, there's a dog in it. You kidding me? Are you kidding me? Enjoy your movies. Okay? You like Superman, you like comic books. Try some out. Yeah, what do you think? No, anyone? That was me all day. All day, everyone's posting. So, again, you're welcome to love it. Enjoy it. Have fun. It looks like it's going to be a great movie. I'm up to my ears in Great Superman. I can go read Great Superman anytime I want. Like, it doesn't do it for me. I don't want to be visually assaulted by Easter eggs and character references to the things that I remember vaguely, or I'm obsessed with. Um, yeah, I recently reread All Star Superman, and I'm reading the whole time going, oh, you remember, Joe? I did this. I did a live stream about it. I just recently reread All Star Superman. I'm like, oh, they're amazing. Quite Liam Morrison, just this issue. This is just gold. I would rather spend 3 hours rereading this issue than sit through another fucking Superman movie. I'm sure I'm gonna watch it. I don't need it. I'm done. I'm done with movies. Oh, Doc, yeah, it's all connected. The X-Men, though, I will say very frankly, X-Men 97 is very specifically that I didn't watch the cartoon. It was exactly at the age where I was too cool for it. I'm not going to watch that. I read the comic books. Same attitude. Exact same attitude. The difference between 13 and 43. At 13, I thought it made me cooler than everyone else. In this one, I know it makes me the weirdo and outsider. I'm tired of pretending that I'm excited for a movie of something that I love in comic books. And I don't think I'm tired of pretending. I haven't been pretending for a long time. But I'm being a little bit more open and honest with it. I think if you go back and watch 1,400 live streams, it becomes pretty clear how I feel. But X-Men, at least, Superman. I love Superman. I love this. All right, I went around my house gathering up all the Superman. I didn't even come close. This is the Gustav Director Justice League that my daughter, my 1-year-old, recently ripped off the cover of. But great silent little Superman comic where he's just helping everybody. All right, this is an awesome JM written book that's a continuation of Justice League Unlimited. Okay, I love Superman. Chip Zdarsky is this weird Justice League, and I hated his Superman, and it bugged me for the whole run because his Superman just. I really like Christopher Cantwell. I really think he's a good writer, and I'm afraid to read Challengers of the Unknown because I don't want to see how he writes Superman. I care about Superman. I was very excited for Man of Steel. Keep in mind, we've been up, Joe, you can remember, Fandom Days, our old podcast. Joseph, our number one and most times our only fan. I was very hyped for Man of Steel. I went to see it and I wasn't even that mad. I will defend it to this day. They made some really questionable choices, but they really nailed those choices. They made their version of Superman and they stuck to it. It is unfortunate that the next movie suffers from so many things that derail it. But their Superman in that first movie is a choice. And it's one that everyone, Cavell especially, kills it, you know? Yeah, Batman vs. Superman, I still think, was just a movie that got messed up. You know, it's not Ant-Man Quantumania. You know, it's a messed up movie. It's not Justice League. It's rushed. But it's edited the crap out of. Made to move. Someone just today was talking about Jesse Eisenberg's terrible Lex Luthor. I said, you see, I would disagree with that. I don't have this huge respect for Jesse Eisenberg. I don't think he's a brilliant actor, but his Lex Luthor works because of the decisions they made in the character and the way he portrayed those decisions. My understanding, I hate that little end clip with him where he's talking to Metron or whatever, or Steppenwolf in his head, but the Snyder Cut has loads of that. So that, to me, undoes Eisenberg's performance. Eisenberg's performance is Lex Luthor, who knows that there are aliens and cannot stand to not be in control, to be lost in the unknown. He needs to stop them. He needs to make sure that they're out of his way, and the only one that he can find really is Superman. I get it. Like, it works. It's a version of Lex Luthor. There's lots of versions of Lex Luthor, but the movie fails as being a movie. It's a movie. Again, for anyone new joining us, All-Star Superman, Absolute Superman, Superman American Alien. This is the jock issue, right? Right? You're finally going to show Superman. He's finally going to be in his costume. You have every issue of Superman American Alien by Max Landis. I know, Max Landis. Has a different artist. And this is the final issue. Second to last issue. And it's the first time it's going to be an all-in costume issue. And who does he get to draw it? Who does he get? He gets Jock. Okay, this looks like an Elseworld. It looks like an anthology story about Superman where they let the weirdo guy draw a Superman story. But it's wonderful. I bet Mike Mignola read this issue and went, holy crap, I love this comic. It's Lobo vs. Superman. This is tremendous. It's tremendous! Oh, but his dog pulls his cape. His dog pulls his... Hawkgirl was there. Hawkgirl, okay, my loves, Hawkwoman, whatever she's called, has been in like every major DC franchise launch in media since Justice League United when they made Shi'ara such a badass. Like, oh wow, but she's here too. Thanks, guys. Wow. Again, I'm just being that guy. This is the current Superman run. In the current Superman run, due to something that I didn't read, Lois Lane now has Superman powers. So she and Clark, she's editor of the Daily Planet, by the way. She and Clark sneak out to go do super things, and everyone thinks they're just boinking, which is adorable. It's cool, it's fun, it's stinky, ridiculous. It's like ridiculous. But not every Superman run is gold. You know, I said I came up during the 80s and 90s. Like, this is Underworld Unleashed, my friends. Okay, it's an Atomic Skull storyline. So for every Roger Stern, McCloud kind of insane nonsense, you got this awesome Lex Luthor guilt one that really stuck with me for years and years. But then you got, I don't even know if this is anyone's real name who worked on this book. It's a literal random stand-up Superman adventure. Superman's got millions of adventures. And the thing about it is that in comics, they all work. They all make sense and go together and fit within the dynamic that is laid out within the comic itself, because that is the genius of comics, and that is what Superman solidified. And that's why the superhero is such a intrinsically comic book thing, because it is Tintin exists, but nothing that happens in Tintin couldn't be conveyed, not as well, but fairly conveyed through other mediums. But there are things done with superheroes that just can't be done. And when you do it, all you do is point to the fact that we've come so far as to make you believe it. But because you know it's not real, they've done studies on this. Because people know something is not possible. They've done studies with people. It's not possible to jump, over a 14-foot gap. They reinforce it through a bunch of things when they're going through the thing, and then they come across someone and they won't do this 14-foot gap, and everyone goes crazy. And they talk to people afterwards, and they take their info, and then when they don't tell them that, they go, "Oh wow, I guess people can jump far." We lose our minds over this stuff, but we also know it's not possible. So we watch this movie and we go, cool, they're making it really look like that guy's flying and punching, some evil space dude through space. But when you read it in a comic book, and you read it in a really well-made comic book, you read it in a Jock comic, Sandalov comic, a Penguea comic, we're going to get to this. This is going to be my wrap-up right here, okay? You're in it. It's happening. It's there. It's on the page, and you're just in it. And I just don't get it. I don't get it. Did I not just show you how much amazing? We got second printing of this. We have issue number 2. We have issue number 3 in a couple days. We've got our used books filled with awesome Elseworld Supermans of all different kinds. This is a 50s sci-fi vibe Superman in the future. Like a 50s future story, but with Superman. What was I trying to look for, though? All-Star. All-Star Superman is $10. You can get a $10 All-Star Superman. Mr. Terrific's in this one. Blow me down. All right, let's wrap up. Sorry, I'm a curmudgeon. Superman Lost. It's on my holiday pick shelf. It's a great Christopher Priest, okay? The man who has absolutely destroyed on Deathstroke is currently still just slaying on Vampirella. 7 years on Vampirella. It's unheard of. Okay? I think he's now the second longest person. Doc, I think Superman will get a display in the store. I've got plenty of Superman. It's just that it's absurd to me. Sorry. Christopher Priest. Let's get back to Christopher Priest. I think he's now the number 2 behind Snenningsberg. I don't know how to pronounce his name's run on Vampirella ever. Take completely self-contained, literally self-contained, because there's like a little bit of a time hijinks at the end, like the other Christopher Priest. If you get that, you and I can be really good friends. It's just incredible. This Superman suit, and half of this book kind of inspired the current Superman story that I tell myself to fall asleep to. Isn't that a fun little thing to say? You think of superhero stories that you would write if you could. So I've got a Superman one that's basically inspired by this because it's just such good Superman. I don't think I'm going to get Superman stories inspired by All-Star Superman meets Busiek Loeb era early 2000s Superman meets CW crossover movie. Superman No Longer Legacy. How's that? Is that how season 15 is going to go? We're going to have spicy takes here in season 15 of Escape Pod Comics live stream. Hopefully not soon turning into when we will reopen after everything has to close down thanks to the avian flu. Can you guys tell? Not only do I not get enough sleep, it's also holiday shopping season. The number of people today to tell me when I told them that it's been a very rough year. That sounds good, Doc. You're hired. You can write our copy for us. The number of people who, when I told us that it was a rough year, and it was pretty hard. That's such a shame. There aren't enough shops like this. It's true. Buy more things. I only said that once. They already bought a bunch of stuff. So anyway, buy more things. Things will make you happy. Great Superman stories available in the shop. Superman Lost, if you haven't read it. Home run. All-Star Superman, $10. The movie that inspired Superman, no longer called Legacy. The movie where his dog pulls him by his cape. Hot Girl's in it! She has a new hat. I'm sorry, Joe. I'm sorry. I said I was going to talk about Superman, Joseph. No, to be a complete jerk, Joe. As I said, this episode was all about you. I sold 2 books. Which 2? The $10 All-Star. But Joe, seriously, what did you think? Just Just the 30-second one, please. I didn't watch the one where he and his dad are hugging in the sun. What a clip. What a clip for people to share. It's like, oh, look, I love Superman. Look at this. He and his dad are together. Where's the issue? Where is it? He and his dad are together. He and his dad are together? You like that? It's a good issue. You like that picture? In your preview? Look, the dog's there! I'm a little bitter. All-Star and Lost. You've read All-Star. You've read All-Star before. That's exactly why he has that hair, Doc. he's got that hair so you won't like it. And him. Someone will make a comment about his stupid haircut and he'll go, I like my haircut. Or something. I'm sorry. I'm sure there are films out there that I'd appreciate. Oh, that's true, right? You got rid of all your physical copies. $10 one will be nice. You keep it on you like a little pocket Bible. People will be like, do you believe anything? And you're like, have you heard about Kal-El? He's a strange visitor from another planet. You just pull it out. Be like, let me read you a passage from All-Star 33. No, All-Star 3:12. We always hope sometimes. No, I mean, like, again, I love Superman. I'm all for Superman. Superman is the first superhero. Superman begets Captain Marvel, Shazam, man. Spider-Man is just a reverse Superman. Like, Superman, early Superman, Siegel and Schuster Superman, not Schuster later or Siegel later, where they were paying their bills, but early Siegel Superman. He's like a humanist socialist, dude. Like, yes, Superman. Grant's version. Even, and I will. If Joey ever puts the video up here on YouTube, you'll see. I understand Miller's Superman in the Batman books, in the Batman like. He was saying something with him because he's such a versatile character, and comics allow him to do anything. I love him. But, again, I'm not gatekeeping. Oh, you don't really know Superman. I know Superman. Superman's like a comic book character, okay? So, like, if you don't read this, you don't know anything. Like, I'm not saying that. Love the movies. Enjoy the movies. Have fun with the movies. But, like, I can't reach that level of excitement. I can reread All-Star Superman and cry. It's not going to happen while I'm watching a trailer. Certainly, it might happen while I watch a movie, because I am susceptible to soundtracks. You know, Tony Stark snapped, and like for the next 3 seconds, you know, maybe minutes, a couple minutes, I was rough. You know, I can get into it, but trailers, Superman on a screen. I was born after 2 Christopher Reeve Superman films were already made. Like, George Reeves with his belly, this waddling Superman. Like, Christopher Reeve, Superman! I grew up to what's-his-face, whoever was Superboy. He was excellent. Excellent, whatever his face is. I'm all about Superman. Love me the film versions, but like, I don't know. You work in comics, you love comics, and you're literally going. Again, you work for a comic shop. You work in a comic shop. You post the crap out of that. Whatever you can get to get your social media engagement, which again is, I know what a lot of the comic creators were just sharing their Superman posts, they're just Superman stuff. Oh, look, I did this on Superman. 100% get it. Put those hashtags in. Get caught on. Have people discover you. I mean professionals. People who work in comic books, especially people who don't work for DC. They may create their own comics. I don't want to use the language that I almost said being beside themselves with glee. Let's put that very nicely. Over a $3 million budget Superman. When, hello, to be fair, many of them did make a big stink when All Star Superman came into the $10 thing. They did. A lot of them did make a big deal. But like, there's great Superman happening all the time. There's great Superman being reprinted. There's wonderful. I just got in the Superman Elseworlds. It has speeding bullets. Speeding bullets? Anyone who doesn't know what that is, the pod from Krypton lands in Wayne Manor, and rather than try to have a child, which they were about to do that year, they adopt this baby and they raise their Bruce Wayne like that. And when his parents die, he loses his mind, as happens. And when he gets a little older and all of a sudden can shoot laser beams out of his eyes, but he didn't do it to save his parents, he gets kind of messed up. Genius! Genius! Action Comics 800, there you go. I bet you can go into a dollar bin. I don't think I'm near the 800s here. I got the 600s here. 6666. Again, there's a tremendous 660, tremendous issue. Really wonderful little psychological look at Lex Luthor. Again, not deep. We're not talking about this, which I will defend to my death, is one of the greatest Superman issues to never feature Superman in it. And there are many Superman issues that don't feature Superman in it, but this one is tremendous in that sense. And I'm not going to say that it's got the action or intrigue or interesting new take on Superman that this has. But this is fascinating, especially you read issue 2. Fascinating. It's a really interesting thought project by Jason Aaron to reinvent while grounding in the founding principles of Superman, who fights for the underdog, who fights against bullies, in a new context. It's just like, I don't even have the energy. His dog's in it. You will believe this dog can fly. All right, I think that's enough cynicism for the night. If you sat through this entire thing, your name is probably Joe. I don't know, Doc, if you're still here. But thank you for Joe for being with me for all these many, many years. Thank you for anyone who's sat back and watched the live stream. Please go and seek out Superman comic books. You can go into dollar bins and there you go, Doc. You too. You can go into dollar bins and you can find Action Comics from the 80s and 90s and the early 2000s. Kurt Busiek wrote Superman for so long, and he ate on almost every issue. Joe Casey wrote some exceptional issues of Superman. Walt Simonson back in the 80s, Dan Jurgens, these people wrote just everything that you thought you saw in that trailer that made you go, wow, Superman. You can get those right now at your comic shop. For $1, probably. My daughter, everything here except for the Absolute Superman and this bad boy, which is with my personal stuff, is from my daughter's bin Superman collection, where my 18-year-old keeps her Superman single issues, some that she loves and some that she's planning on reading in the future, from various decades, because she loves Superman. She's very excited for this movie. I'm happy for her. I'm not going to quash that or say that. I hope she didn't watch the episode. But it's a Superman movie. All right. Yay. Cool. Will it help me sell comics? Do movies help me sell comics at all anymore? I would love, I'll be honest, I would love to sell out of All-Star Superman between now and Christmas. I'll restock it I'll put an order for 20 more copies in on the 5th. All-Star Superman? You saw that? You saw Superman no longer called Legacy? That's our new name for it, Joseph, like Famous McFamous. Here's All-Star Superman. That's what it's based on. Oh, I mean, it's a movie. They changed stuff, but that's what it's based on. Oh, you want more? My spinner rack is bursting. Busiak, Jurgens, McLeod, Supermans. Like, go for it. Go for it. I'd love to sell it. I'd love $1? 75 cents. It's a 1990 Superman comic. 75 cents. Oh, really? Yeah. That's cheaper than a cup of coffee. Yes, it is. Richard Kind. Yes, it is. All right. I'm clearly very tired. Good night, Joe. Thank you for all 13 years of this nonsense. Doc, 3, 4 now? 4, 5? I don't know. Pre-live stream? Had you been in the shop? Anyway, everyone, almost 5 years of this live stream. Jeez. All right. Till tomorrow when my review is... Hey, look, I've got All-Star Superman on display. It's front and center right now. Right next to Superman. These are both All-Star Superman and Superman Lost are right front and center in the shop. They are on display and they will be in the change-up in 2025 for sure. 1,500 more. Joe, what are you doing to me? What are you doing to me, Joe? Joe! Joe, why would you wish that upon me? All right. Till tomorrow. Remember, damn it, babies. You gotta be kind.